Hello, Ellie here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for this YouTube flow. Now, this is suitable for all levels, this practice, and we're going to be looking at releasing some tension and tightness from the legs, the backs of the legs, the glutes. Quite often, I think a lot of us, if you're sitting a lot of the time, sitting at a desk, or even sometimes doing kind of sports and things like that, which is great, it can also tighten some of the areas of the body. So we'll be looking at that today. But as always, you know, having a holistic approach to body, the mind, and seated position. I definitely recommend having a strap today. So I've got my yoga strap here. Now you can pick one of these up, you know, really kind of quite inexpensive. If you don't have a yoga strap, I recommend using a dressing gown tie or something like that. And this just adds some resistance. There isn't any give in this strap. So we're going to be using that for some of the stretches today, and it's a really great way to stretch into the backs of the legs and the glutes, etc. So come into your comfortable seated position. And if you need to have blocks under the hips here, you absolutely can, or under the thighs to support you if you're finding there's any gripping in the hips. Coming into a neutral spine, we bring the hands to heart center, one hand over the other, closing off the eyes, just taking some grounding breaths. Seeing if you can find some stillness here, maybe connecting to a sense of stillness, ease. Observe if you can feel the breath within the belly, the abdomen, maybe the chest. And relax the neck and the shoulders. Relax the muscles in your face, the cheeks, the forehead. Feel the connection between your hands and your heart center. We'll open the eyes back up if you had them closed and just release the hands, let them drop into the lap. And we'll start to bring the legs from here out in front. And this is where we're going to take our strap and place it around the balls of the feet. So if you really don't have a strap or don't have anything to hand at all here, that's okay. You can do this without the strap as well. And then slide the hands down the strap, and we're going to start in a neutral spine position. So inhale here and reach the crown of your head to the ceiling. And as you exhale, using your strap for resistance, pulling on the strap, but really leading with the chest. So we're keeping the spine long, coming into Paschimottanasana. And you can adjust the hands, bring them further down the strap if you wish to. You can bring the hands to the feet if that feels good for you. But it's quite nice to use the strap here to really feel into this opening in the body. So as you inhale, see if you can find a gentle lift. And as you exhale, relaxing into the fold. Just remembering that we're not looking to round the spine. So if that means that you're kind of roughly here, then that's completely okay to be there. Take your breaths here. Relax the shoulders. Keep the spine long. So starting to hopefully feel Some opening through the backs of the legs here. Inhale, start to release from the fold now and come back to neutral. Remove your strap, just pop the strap to the side for a moment. Take a little wiggle out through the legs. And then bend your right knee in. Now you can either make this into Mary Chestnut C and keep this right leg here, or step your right foot to the outside of the left thigh. See how this feels. If you're finding that you can do this, but you're really rounding and you're really kind of coming out of alignment, then it might be, might be good to try keeping the foot on the inside of the leg to begin with. So you listen to your body, take what's best for you, and then bring the right hand or the right fingertips to the mat behind you. From here, take a deep inhale and reach the left arm up to the ceiling. Lift your ribs away from your hips. Exhale, twist to the right, and allow this left arm to either hug the right knee, or you could be taking a hook here, and follow with your gaze, coming into our half Lord of the Fish. So we're twisting the spine, we're stretching through the hips, especially the right hip. Breathing here. And if you're familiar with half Lord of the Fish and this is in your practice, then of course you can bend in this underneath leg as well and find your twist here. And as you inhale, keep making that space. So reach your crown of your head to the ceiling as you inhale, and then relax, release the breath on your exhale. Exhale, unravel, come back to neutral. Unhook the legs. And we'll take a window wipe from side to side. Take any movement that you want to take in between. And then this time we're lengthening the right leg and bending the left leg in. So it could be that you're going to work with the pose here. Could be that you're stepping it over to the outside of your right thigh. Maybe you're also bending in this underneath leg here. Being very mindful of the knee joint, this right knee joint. Check in with that joint. Check in with how it's feeling. If something doesn't feel right there, or it feels like too much, there's plenty of other options to take and get lots of the benefits of this pose. So then bring the left hand behind you this time, or left fingertips to support you. Inhale, reach your right hand up to the sky, lift up and out from the pelvis. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand's hugging the left knee or taking the hook. Follow with your gaze. Gaze is coming over the left shoulder. It's just a gesture of where it's heading. And as you breathe on your inhale, see if you can find a little bit of length and space. And as you exhale, releasing into the twist. Seeing if you can relax slightly on the exhale. So we're letting go. So on the inhale, imagine we're drawing in energy, we're lifting, we're lengthening. And on the exhale, we're releasing, we're letting go. We're trying to relax as much as you can. This is a really subtle feeling, so not kind of forcing anything here, just subtle movements with your breath. Exhale, release back to center. Unravel the legs. Take another window wipe with the knees from side to side. That's can be quite a strong one, half Lord of the Fish. So checking in, noticing how the body's reacting, how the body's feeling, not judging. being in your place of awareness. And from here, move into a tabletop position. So hands are grounding into the mat, shoulders are above the wrists, hips above the knees. And then draw your right leg out behind you and tuck your right toes under. So feeling this opening, this stretch through the back of the right leg here. Now it might be that you're happy in stillness and you're finding enough of the opening in the body here, or you can start to take a gentle rock back and forth with the stretch, moving with the breath. Inhale and exhale. And then meet in stillness and start to guide this right leg out to the right side and bring the inside of the foot down to the ground. So really opening into this right hip, the right inside of the right leg. Breathing here. And then bring your right leg back and then draw it back into center. And we'll come on to the other side now. So reaching the left leg back, tucking the toes under, finding a stretch through the back of the left leg. Maybe you start to take a gentle bit of movement, rocking back and forth. Make sure that you're still breathing. Allow the breath to flow. Allow your prana, your life force energy to draw in through the nose as you inhale. And then meeting in stillness this time, we're going to bring the left leg out to the side, inside of the left foot to the ground, finding your opening and stretch here, breathing here. Lift this grounded knee to the right knee. When you're in any of these tabletop positions, these all four positions, if your knees feel sensitive, then you can take cushioning underneath it. You can take a cushion, you can take a blanket, you can take a thin, spongy block. So really support your body if that's what you're feeling. Start to reach the left leg back out behind with control and then draw it back into center. Tuck the toes under from here, and as you exhale, send your hips up to the sky and find a downward facing dog. If you prefer, you can come to a child's pose here instead. If you're in your downward facing dog, I want you to press the mat away from you with your hands as you lift your hips to the sky. And you can bend your legs as much as you need to. Your heels don't need to come down to the mat. The most important thing is your spine in this pose. So lifting the hips, send the gaze between the knees, make sure that you're relaxing the head. Belly button's drawing in towards the spine. You'll probably find that this happens automatically here. Strengthening the core. Inhale, send your gaze between your hands and then walk or step. Same thing, walk your feet in towards them. And taking as much softness in your legs, hang down in a forward fold. Now you can either just allow the hands to hang heavy here, or if it feels good to, a nice option here is to actually bring the hands underneath the feet and take as much bend as you need to in the legs to do this. So there's some light pressure coming from the balls of the feet into the hands, and there's lots of nerves in the hands and feet. This can actually feel quite therapeutic. But as always, if you're having a go at this option and it's really not feeling like that for you, or it's, you know, not feeling good today, then take the forward fold without the feet on the hands. So keep allowing the head to really hang heavy here. Keep releasing the head. We're not holding on to anything here. Just allowing it to let go. Let gravity do the work. Releasing through the head, the neck, the shoulders. Everything's hanging down. And then bring the hands away if you had them under the feet. Keeping bend in the legs. Inhale, slowly roll the body up to standing. So peel the body up. And the head's going to lift up last. So come up with a rounded spine. Meeting into Dasana, take a big shoulder roll. Allow your shoulder blades to run down your back. Now, from here, step your right foot back. And the right toes are going to be at a slight angle, so pointing out slightly. Our hips are square and facing forwards, and you can bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, reach the crown of your head to the ceiling. Exhale, keep the left hip tucked in, start to fold forwards. Now, if you're working with blocks, you could bring your hands to blocks here if you wish to. You can stay at this halfway point or higher up with the hands on the hips. You could bring the hands down and work towards bringing the forehead to that front shin. But that does not mean that that's where you need to be. So both legs are lengthened, and what we're doing is getting a really strong opening through the back of this left leg. Inhale, bring the hands back to the hips if you release them. Slowly start to lift the chest, coming back up, keeping the spine long. Now from here, we're going to keep this left foot as it is, take some bend in the left leg, and then step your right leg back, the side of the right foot roughly in line with the side of the mat, and we'll find a warrior two here. So left leg's bent, right leg's lengthened, feet are pressing down and away into the mat, reaching the fingertips away, and send your gaze over the left fingertips. Breathing here, relax the shoulders. Stay with your breath. And then bring the hands back to the hips. Pivot so that you're in a wide leg stance on your mat and toes are pointing forwards, and you might like to pigeon toe the feet slightly here. And starting with a neutral spine. Inhale, lift your ribs away from your hips, make space. Exhale, hinge from the hips, keeping the spine long. Start to fold forwards, coming into your Prasarita Padottanasana. So again, you could be working with some blocks here. You could have the hands on blocks. You could be halfway, higher up, or bringing the hands down to the mat. Just remember, you could take a micro bend in the legs if you need to. So you don't need to be kind of locking knees here if that's not feeling right for you. Lightly start to bring the weight through the balls of the feet, the mouths of the big toes. Seeing if you can find some comfort within any discomfort. And sometimes you can do this by focusing on the breath, using the breath as an anchor to ground you, to bring you into the present moment. Inhale, start to bring the hands back to the hips. Lifting the chest, keep the spine long, slowly making your way back to neutral. And then we're going to pivot this right foot, or just adjust the right foot so that the right foot is facing forward, so it's straight. Bend through the right leg, and then step this left foot back. So we're finding our warrior two on the other side now. So right leg's bent, left leg's lengthened. Reach the fingertips away, send your gaze over your right fingertips. Breathing here in your warrior two. Keep pressing the feet down and away into the mat. Make sure this left leg's still engaged. Full lower body engagement here. And then bring the hands back to the hips. Step the left foot in. So this time, the left toes are out at a slight angle and the front leg is pointing forwards. Hips are square, so hips are shining forwards. And you can adjust this stance. You could have the feet further away or closer together, depending on what feels right. So inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. Exhale, keep the right hip tucked in, folding forwards. Maybe you're bringing your hands to blocks. Maybe you are staying active. You could bring your hands down to the mat. So finding that opening through the back of the right leg. Inhale, start to lift the chest, keeping the spine long, moving away from the fold, our pyramid pose. Slowly making your way back to center, to neutral, I should say. And we'll step the feet in together. You can take a little release through the legs if that feels good too. And then either keeping the feet grounded or coming up on your toes. I always like doing this one. So bring your hands to heart center, or you can use your hands to support you. So starting when you're ready to bend through the legs. And we're lowering down with control, down to the mat. And then starting to bring the hips down. And bring the body down so that you're in a lying position, but make sure that you have your strap here to hand to come down into your lying position on the mat. And both legs are bent and the soles of the feet are grounded. We're going to take the strap now and bring it around the ball of the right foot. And we are going to find some length through that right leg. Doesn't mean that it needs to be straight. We're just finding that stretch, that opening in the body. Slide the hands down the strap if you've got space to. And you can start to gently draw that right leg in towards the body. If that feels good, you may not need to take that range of movement today. And start to lengthen through the left leg here. If that's comfortable for you, you can keep it bent in, and that can be a really nice supportive place to be. So take what you need. Perhaps observing any thoughts passing through here, any resistance to this pose. Whether that may be physical resistance within the body, that could be mentally, emotionally. Release the right leg from the strap. Bring the right foot down to the mat. And then we'll bring the strap around the ball of the left foot. Reach that up to the sky, find some length, slide the hands down the strap. Again, don't worry about the leg being straight. It's not about the leg being straight or bent. It's just about feeling into the body and finding that place for you where you are stretching and opening. And there may be an element of discomfort. There may well be a feeling of discomfort, and discomfort's okay, but pain, sharp twinges, you know, things that don't feel right, you know, that's not what we want. So kind of learning the difference between the two, trying to become aware of what that is for you, coming to a place before your limit. It's good to challenge yourself sometimes. It's good to, you know, sometimes be out of your comfort zone, physically, mentally, but it's also knowing your limits, knowing where that limit is for you. And release the left leg now from the strap, keeping your strap close by. Release the left foot down to the mat, take a window right with the legs from side to side. And then meeting back with the legs bent in stillness, we're going to hook your right leg over the left. And when I say hook, it's as if you're, you know, if you're sat down and you're cross-legged. So we're completely hooking this right leg as far over the left as you can. So this right knee is coming completely over the left knee or thereabouts, seeing how far you can come with that, okay? Now see how that feels first. You might already be feeling a lot of stretch into the right hip, the right glutes, all this whole area outside of the right leg. Now, if that's the case, you could be taking your breaths here and working with this pose here. The next option is to bring the left foot away from the mat, and we're keeping the legs as they are, but we're drawing both legs in towards the body. Now this is like a lying version of half Mukasana. So options here are, you can either be taking the hands to the tops of the shins, maybe you can bring them further down the legs, reaching kind of the ankles or the, kind of the ankle area. And as you draw the legs in towards you, you will feel a deepening of this stretch within the body. But what we want is to keep the head and the shoulders nice and grounded and relaxed if possible. So if you're finding that you're going like this, you're kind of straining here, then what I would recommend is using your strap and wrap that strap over both legs if you can, and then release your upper body to the mat, and then adjust your hands on the strap however you need to, so that you can draw the legs in and find your stretch, but without straining the head, the neck, shoulders. So see if that can work for you, or you can stay without drawing the legs in at all. So using a strap just gives you a little bit more space. The more you draw the legs in, the more you will feel this opening, stretching into the piriformis, the glutes, those deep muscles within the body. There's lots of different muscle groups within the body, and there's the kind of external, the global muscles, and then there's the deeper muscles. So we're aiming to work into those deeper muscles as well, releasing tension in the inner and outer layers of the body, of the nervous system. And start to release the legs now. Let the left foot come down to the mat. Unhook your right leg. Take a wiggle through the hips. Bring the knees over from one side, then the other. And then finally coming onto the other side, we're going to hook the left leg over this time. So hooking it right over as much as you can. Maybe you're working here. Next option is to bring that right foot away, either grabbing the strap and just wrapping it over both legs, using it there, or the hands are reaching possibly the tops of the shins, maybe the ankles, and drawing the legs in towards the body. So opening, stretching into the left hip now. So you might feel like a pretzel a little bit here. This is a really nice version of Gomukhasana. If you're someone who's been practicing and you do find that you're quite tight through the hips or the glutes, then seated Gomukhasana can be quite a strong place to be, but coming into this lying option can sometimes make it more accessible. You can start to soften the gaze here or close off the eyes if you wish to. And then we'll release the legs. So start to drop that right foot back down to the mat, unravel, take a final little wiggle, wiggle the hips, drop the knees from side to side. And then start to lengthen both legs, come into a comfortable lying position. And allow your body to sink into the ground. Allow the shoulder blades and the hips to melt into the earth beneath you. Let the head become heavy. Let the arms become heavy, the legs. Notice any sensations in the hands, the feet, anywhere at all within the body. If you'd like to stay in a Shavasana, in this relaxation position for longer, then please do. I highly recommend that. If you are ready to come out of the practice, bring a little bit of gentle movement into the hands, the feet, and then ease your way back to a seated position on your mat where we started the class. Bring the hands back to your heart center. Notice the chest rise and fall with your breath. Release the hands, opening up the eyes, just taking your time now to come back into the physical body. I hope you enjoyed that practice as much as I did. As always, please do subscribe to this channel, comment below, let me know your feedback. In the details below, there is the link to my membership and to other things that I offer. So do check that out and have a look at that if you've enjoyed this practice. And I can't wait to see you again for another flow very soon. Bye-bye.